Yes, several. The most blatant in my opinion is found in Isaiah chapter 53. Defenders of Judaism, however, insist that this text is speaking of Israel, not a man. According to them, Isaiah here has the Gentile nations poetically speaking about Israel and Israel's relationship with the Gentiles. There are a number of problems with this interpretation. The most insoluble one is found in verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities, the chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. Yes. They are different right now, but one day they will be the same. The difference today is non-Jewish Christians, Gentiles, recognize Jesus as Messiah as a miracle of God called the Church Age. An age, today, of grace for the salvation of Gentiles. Upon Jesus' second coming, the Bible confirms that the Jewish people that remained blind to Jesus as Messiah will look upon the one they, and each of us, pierced. They will see Jesus as King with his hands and feet still with the scars of crucifixion. The Old Testament is where Judaism rests, still awaiting the Messiah. Christians add the New Testament, which are the accounts of Jesus the Messiah. There are many Old Testament prophecies that confirm that Jesus is Messiah. Here is a compelling one. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Genesis chapter 49 verse 10. The term, scepter, refers to their tribal identity and the right to apply and enforce Mosaic laws and adjudicate capital offenses. It is significant that even during their 70-year Babylonian captivity, 606 to 537 BC, the tribes retained their tribal identity. In fact, they retained this right until the Romans took this right away in 1 AD, the year that Jesus was born. This was so significant that when it occurred, the Romans took the scepter from Judah. The Pharisees and religious leaders wept. They believed that God failed or had ignored them. But little did these religious leaders know, in a manger in Bethlehem laid the child Messiah Jesus. The scepter had not passed before the promised Messiah. God, of course, had fulfilled this prophecy like every other one. They should not have wept, they should have looked for and recognized Jesus as Messiah. It depends on what you mean by connections. Most of Christianity will not acknowledge the anti-Semitic creeds of the Roman Christianity they participate in, especially Protestants, that came out of the Catholic Church. It also depends on how you define Christianity. Are we talking about Christianity as practiced post-Council of Nicaea 367 AD? Are we talking about Christianity practiced in the 1st century? If we are talking about the faith that Christ practiced, then there are connections. Christ was not arguing with the Pharisees about keeping God's law, he was arguing against their legalistic interpretation and the oral law that they established as tradition. When you say Judaism, are you talking about biblical Judaism, or today's Talmudic Judaism? The gospel message is in the tabernacle, but most people have never been taught about it. I, as a messianic believer, keep the Sabbath, holy days, moedim, appointed times, clean meats, tassels, tzitziot, beard, but not the Talmudic traditions. Of course, and some of the apostles held on to Jewish traditions. Saint Peter, often credited as the person upon whom the church was built, returned to ministry to the Jewish people and kept holy days. Some Christian denominations even continue this tradition of Jewish everything plus Yeshua's second coming as the fulfillment of the Mashiach promise.